All right, what's up, everybody? Everybody's heard of these Farmer's Almanac, old Farmer's Almanac, long-term forecasts where they come out at Labor Day, tell you how it's going to be this winter. I've always wondered, are they accurate? How about no, they're not accurate? I was going to do this whole video, do all this research, see how accurate they were. I don't need to. People have done it. And what do they say? It's like 25% to 50% accurate. Okay, so you might as well be just flipping a coin. But are they still fun to look at? Sure. Is it novelty? Sure. It's kind of like looking at your horoscope. I mean, it's fun to look at. It's not going to actually tell you exactly what's going to happen, but gets you excited for winter. Nothing wrong with that. But what I want to do, I want to look and show you guys which forecasts you should be looking at. And specific to Utah, if you're going to go to Alta Snowbird, which forecast should you look at? And should you be basing your decision on, whether or not to come ski this winter on some long-term forecast that's months away? You really shouldn't. They're not accurate. They mean nothing. Even a 2-week forecast isn't really that great. I mean, it tells you something. It tells you there's storms out there. It tells you, there's something probably coming. Is it going to hit Utah like they really say? Who knows? The problem is you really have to get a little bit closer to get an accurate forecast. I would say, a week out, 5 days out, 2 or 3 days out. I mean, if you're like the kind of skier who you will only ski if there's a certain amount of powder on the ground, you shouldn't book your flight and your lodging until 2 or 3 days out. I mean, that's just being real. Otherwise, if you're making your bookings for vacation, in the summer or in the fall, just make them. You're going to have fun. It may snow, it may not. That's the thing about skiing. You don't need fresh powder. Trust me, I like fresh powder more than anybody else in the world. But if it doesn't snow, does that mean I don't ski? Absolutely not. Some of the best days I've had is in crummy conditions. One of the nice things about being crummy conditions is it's not crowded. That's the one bad thing about a powder day, especially if you're going to Alta and Snowbird. What happens? The road's going to close. There's going to be big lines coming in the canyon. Parking lot's going to be full. If you just show up, November and December, low snowpack, it's not that great, but the whole mountain's open. I love that time of year. Seriously, it's so much fun. You find ways to have fun, and it makes your skiing better too. But I think what I want to do realistically is do some videos on good forecasts, the kind of forecasts that you should be looking at, how to read those forecasts. There's some NOAA obviously puts out some great forecasts. Weather.com puts out good forecasts. University of Utah puts out great forecasts. I mean, obviously, I ski at Snowbird and Alta, so that's kind of where I'm pinpointing my forecasts. But sometimes you can look at these and you can say, it's actually going to snow, at Deer Valley, or it's going to snow at Brighton a little bit more, especially if there's more of a southwest flow to the storm. So it's important to look at those kind of things before you make your plans to ski. So keep an eye out for some of these videos coming out. I'm going to make one each week. We're going to talk about specific forecasts each week. We're going to show you how to read them. We're going to show you what to look for, what to avoid, what's important, what's not important, and also keep in mind these are forecasts. It's not a crystal ball. It's always an art. There's an art to these things, and there's an art to looking at them and trying to make your own forecast. I think, if you're a skier, you kind of become a amateur meteorologist. I mean, I feel like I am. I feel like I've skied in Utah my whole life, and I look at these forecasts, and they may say certain things, and I take what I will from those, and I kind of decide what my own forecast is going to be, and I try to make my own decisions off of that. And frankly, I check it every 12 hours or every 6 hours or every couple hours to see what changes, because they do change. You can go from this big huge dump they're going to say coming, it could get downgraded big time. And also the reverse happens. They could say 1 to 2 inches, and then all of a sudden you get 16 inches. This has happened numerous times. I can cite a few nice times at Alta specifically. You know, we're planning to go up to Alta, maybe shoot some photos in the morning. Wasn't forecasted for much. If I remember, I was like 1 to 2 inches. You know, we wake up in the morning and it was 18. So these things happen, and it happens both ways. So you can't get too angry. You can't get too pent up with excitement. You know, you realize Mother Nature is going to do its thing, and you got to be open. And you know, typically it's going to be good skiing regardless. So you can't get too worked up over it. You know what I'm saying? If you guys like this content, please like, please subscribe, leave me a comment. If there's questions you have, let me know. All right. Thanks for dropping in. We'll see you.